The city of Pontiac has received approval to cancel union contract protections for 10 police dispatchers. It's the final move toward eliminating the police department altogether. The action will make the dispatchers the first Michigan public employees to have a contract tossed out under a new law granting expanded powers to state-appointed emergency financial managers. Developing this noon, Republicans still not on board with the president's plan to reduce the national debt. Conservatives are saying no to revenue increases as part of the deal to cut the deficit. That breaking news overnight in one mid-Michigan community where one person is dead after being shot several times near a convenience store. Friends and family breathing a sigh of relief this morning after learning a local woman missing for several days has been found. It's an update to breaking news you heard first at noon. Officials found 65-year-old Margaret Oland there on your screen near her home in Burton yesterday afternoon. Now, new details into the WNEM TV5 newsroom. Ford wants to devote more resources to expand sales across the globe. The automaker is planning on increasing sales by 50% by the middle of the decade. Ford is targeting Asia and Africa. At its shareholder meeting, Ford also predicted the small cars will account for 55% of sales by the year 2020. They also plan on hiring up to 7,000 new workers in the United States in the next 2 years. This noon, the cash-strapped state of Michigan spending your tax dollars on parts for the Zilwaukee Bridge, parts they can't even use. In fact, the Department of Transportation says it spent millions on giant bearings, and now it will have to spend millions more. WNEM TV5's Aisha Howard is live and local in Zilwaukee to break down the numbers. What a mess. About 60,000 of you use the Z Bridge on an average weekday. Stay tuned. We'll have much more on the story beginning tonight at 5. Back to Bay County, where health department officials say it's safe to swim in the Saginaw River again. Recent water samples passed the state's quality standards. Last week, there was a public health advisory for public access areas at Veterans Park. Well, a new study says 1 in every 5 pregnant women under 25 smokes during pregnancy. It's having a growing impact on newborn babies. We'll tell you what researchers are saying in a new study. And you better watch out because these bulls mean business. An update from the running of the bulls in Spain after the break. Good morning, Mid-Michigan. Thanks so much for waking up with WNEM TV5. It's Wednesday, June 8th. I'm Amy Andrews. Turn off that air conditioner, open those windows, and just let that fresh air in.
Just wait till you see your utility bill. You'll be glad you did.
Exactly. Well, taking a look at news county by county, starting in Saginaw County. Rock fans have been waiting all summer for tonight's big concert at the Chesning Showboat. Sick Puppies, Pop Evil, Egypt Central, and local favorites Finding Clyde are on the bill. The concert starts at 7 p.m. and should end around 10. The Showboat runs through Saturday. As you head out for work or school, you'll feel the humidity in the air as soon as you walk out that door. Meteorologist Mike Cameron will have much more in just a bit, but first a look at the rest of this morning's top stories. Crews are monitoring a blaze that's burned about 800 acres near Grayling. The fire broke out yesterday in the Howes Lake area of Crawford County. It destroyed or damaged a number of buildings and forced the evacuation of 100 homes. We have been in close contact overnight with the Department of Natural Resources. They say the fire has been largely contained, but firefighters remain at the scene and expect to be out there for most of the day. Let's take a look at some of the national stories we're following for you this morning, beginning with a live look over our nation's capital, where top officials at the White House are expected to negotiate during another round of debt talks. The Senate's top Republican is proposing to allow the president to raise the debt limit himself under certain conditions. Well, get your classic car ready to roll. The Cruisin' Car Show is back at Soaring Eagle Casino in Mount Pleasant this weekend. Classic car buffs will be showing off their rides all day long, and at 6 they'll hit the streets for the Twilight Cruise Parade. Also new on Wake Up, a group of children and their driver shaken after a car slams into a Mount Pleasant school bus. The Morning Sun writes 2 kids were treated for minor injuries yesterday afternoon. An 18-year-old Coleman teen hit the bus on Gaylord Street near University around 4 yesterday afternoon. The students were moved from the damaged bus to another to get home. The passengers in the car are okay. This just into the WNEM TV5 newsroom. One person has been shot in what's being called a house robbery on Flint's east side.
At home.
Also, no word at this hour on what, if anything, they may have taken off with or the condition and identity of the person who was shot. We'll continue to work the phones and bring you an update as soon as we learn more. hundreds of families in Crawford County back in their own beds. They were forced to evacuate yesterday as a wildfire moved toward their homes. The fire burned about 800 acres of woodlands and destroyed several buildings near Grayling. The DNR says the fire is almost contained. They expect it to be fully contained later this morning. One homeowner who had to be evacuated is happy that her family is safe. At this hour, thousands of families outraged after learning they'll have to fork out even more money for water bills. WNEM, and you can of course count on TV5 and WNEM.com for updates. We'll have reaction to the increase starting tonight at 5. At noon, one Pennsylvania eatery is stirring up outrage among parents for banning young children. Can you believe it? The restaurant will no longer serve children under the age of 6. The owner says little kids are simply too noisy. A 68-year-old man and his 24-year-old grandson have drowned following a fishing accident on a private pond. Take a look at this. This just makes my skin crawl. Thousands of thrill seekers ran with the bulls in Spain today on the 6th day of the annual festival. It takes place in the northern city of Pamplona for 1 week. Check out those crazy people. I just cannot imagine. Daily bull runs are the major attraction and draw thousands of tourists to the city every year, and I think it's because they want to see people gored. I'm telling you what, so many people are injured.
Yeah, I mean, they're not mechanical things that just
no.
No,
but it is tradition, so to each their own.
Yes, I suppose, and you know what? With that risk, you understand the risk. And you follow through understanding the risk. Right?
Any risk in the weather department today? Meanwhile, officials from another local community have finally started enforcing their dangerous dog ordinance. Owners are supposed to post a sign that says dog on premises, but the Saginaw News reports the signs weren't ordered until yesterday. Saginaw residents were issued temporary paper signs. Code enforcers plan to deliver the permanent ones when they come in. More than 340 animals have already been registered. New information into the WNEM TV5 newsroom. Some mid-Michigan families are expected to return home this afternoon. This after a fire forced them to evacuate their apartment complex early this morning.